Welcome to part 24 of my DIY backyard project. If you have missed the previous progress on how I built the deck by myself, yes, one person, you may want to check them out in the description because it was very exciting. For many of you plan to build a deck by yourself or even hiring a contractor, I hope you will find this helpful because there's a lot of technical tips I shared with you. My goal is to inspire more people into DIY. This time, we are talking about how to install the red dot concealable deck grommet. You can use any 120-volt appliances on your deck without running an extension cable. That's very neat, isn't it? In wintertime, you can use the Anova sous vide for a foot bath like the Japanese. As crazy as it sounds, it would be very odd if you get electrocuted. The next day, on the headline of your local news says, "Odd way to die, a man killed by sous vide in the snow." Before we get started, let's quickly recap of what we have done in the last video. I ran the underground PVC conduit from the house to the back of the privacy screen, and I installed a 2-gang waterproof electrical box with the expansion fittings to prevent frost heave. Then I installed another box just for the LED string light. Of course, I installed the GFCI outlet inside of the house to protect all the receptacle downstream. This time I am going to show you how to install the deck grommet right here. There's no need to do any wiring, just plug and play. If you missed that video from last time, remember to check it out. I will post the link in the description. That's the product. It's not that expensive. It's about $12 Canadian or less than $10 US at your local hardware store. But there is one problem. The product description says it's designed for composite and wooden deck. There is no mention about PVC deck. So I am going to do a test before the actual installation. Of course, I will show you the installation process. Because my deck is so close to the ground, there is no easy access underneath. I am going to share some DIY tips on how to fish the 120-volt power cable. Finally, I will give you my opinion on how to shop for the best outdoor grade cable on the market. I am doing this test in my basement. It's very important to frame your deck at 12 inches on center. Don't do 16 inches on center for Azek PVC. I talk about it many times. Check out part 20 of this DIY deck series. I will post the link in the description. I am using Cortex to secure the boards for this control test, because it outperforms the clipping system. As you can see, there is zero deflection. With the opening being cut in the middle, is this PVC board gonna hold? Oh yes, it passed the test with flying colors. You gotta love Azek. It's pretty high quality product. Of course, we have to do the test with the deck grommet installed. It's looking good. Now, with all this information, you have confidence to follow what I do and use the deck grommet on your Azek PVC deck. I have a disclaimer to make. This video is not sponsored. I am not affiliated with Azek or Red Dot. I just want to help all of you DIY people from the bottom of my heart. Alright, the installation is pretty simple. Choose the location you want and use a Sharpie to mark it on the deck board. Drill a hole using a decent sized drill bit. You can find it in your toolbox. Next, put the jigsaw blade into the hole we just drilled and start to cut it. There is a DIY tips on PVC deck. You don't want to set your jigsaw to high speed or push it too hard, because PVC will melt and it will seal the gap by itself. Don't worry about the imperfection on the edges. You will not be able to see that. Look, it fits. To fish the cable from the side of the deck, I am using this professional tool called FIBERGLASS fish tape cable rods. You can get it from Amazon or any electronics supply store. I got mine locally from this place called Seo Electronics. If you want to see how I use this tool in a more crazy way, check out how I fished the LED cable behind the drywall for the IKEA cabinet. I am pretty sure you will be impressed. I will post the link in the description. The idea is to attach one section after another until it reaches the bottom of the deck grommet. Then you use the hook to get it from the bottom to the surface of your deck. Next, attach it to the original row of twine as the guide wire. Pull the rod from the bottom of the deck. Finally, tie it to the 120-volt extension cable and retrieve it through the opening of the deck grommet. How difficult is it? It's very easy, isn't it? There are some hardware in the package you have to install is to secure the cable, so it will stay in place. Looking good. All you have to do is to squeeze the side and drop it into the opening, just like that. It's very easy to use and the design is pretty awesome. I really love it. Let's talk about cables. Don't just buy any extension cable if you're in Canada. You know how harsh our winter is. This 14 gauge 25 feet cable is my recommendation of the day. I have used the same type of cable for many years around my house and in my garden. Yes, the price is high, but you pay for what you get. There are 4 key points you want to look at if you don't like this brand. Make sure it's kink-free and the rubber remains flexible even in extreme cold weather. Also, look for SJOW standard, which is oil resistant and waterproof. The lighted power indicator is very useful when you're using it in the dark. Finishing up with the installation, I cut a small opening in the corner on my ventilation chicken wire for the cable to pass through. Next, I plug it into the GFCI outlet. With this cable, you can plug it and forget it. You don't have to unplug the cable and you can leave the power on 24/7. In summertime, it's very useful to use your favorite mosquito trap or zapper. Of course, as many of you may know, an electric fan actually dilutes the carbon dioxide you exhale, and this can't prevent the mosquitoes from biting you. You can get the hot and cold Dyson fan, not only for the mosquitoes in summertime, but the hot air keeps you warm in the fall. However, I found this model is a little bit too small for the backyard. If you have extra money to spare, get the bigger one, just to give you some ideas. Next time, I am going to show you how to make your backyard completely grass-free. There is minimal maintenance you have to do. It will look clean without affecting the drainage. Also, I will give you a review of the rubber mulch and why I chose it over the regular mulch. I am pretty sure you don't want to miss that. If you find some good information in this video, give this a thumbs up. My goal is to inspire more people into DIY. You may want to check out other videos on my channel. I am pretty sure you will love them. Remember to subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you next time.